beautiful. Welcome or welcome back. My name is Lightworker Whit. If this is your first time here, welcome. If this is not your first time here, thank you so much for being a subscriber and engaging with my content on a regular basis. I appreciate you. It is very, very early for me. It is 6:11 a.m. on this new moon in Cancer, June 2025. I have to go to work. I have to be at work by 9. So I'm going to do a shorter version of my new moon readings than I normally do, but I still want to make sure I do it for every sign. So real quick, if you want to have any private interaction with me, any one-on-one time, all of the links that you need are below. If you are interested in any of my courses, all of the links are below. Just check out the description box. It has everything you need. Special thanks to my Lightkeepers who support me monetarily and subscribe to my exclusive monthly forecast. Thank you so much to these wonderful individuals here. If you'd like to become a Lightkeeper, the link is in the description as well. I don't have a lot of time, guys. I wanted to get dressed first, but then I realized it would make more sense to record and get dressed while this video is exporting because I want to have it uploaded by the time I go to work. So you're just gonna have to deal with barefaced Whitney today. Okay. This is the spread we're going to use, by the way. It's a simple 3-card spread, okay? It's what I need to focus on during the next lunar cycle, what I need to let go, and what is the next step I should consider. Very simple. And then I'm going to pick a oracle card for each sign from the Queen of the Moon oracle, okay? Okay. All right, let's jump into Aries. Okay, Aries, what you need to focus on during this next lunar cycle. Remember that lunar cycles are 2 weeks, so from now up into the next full moon, okay? We have the Two of Wands for you. The Two of Wands is about looking towards the future, planning, and getting organized. So there's a goal, obviously, here with the Two of Wands that you are preparing for. It's about preparation. So there's something that you need to be preparing for. You hope, I mean, that's going to vary person to person, but I want to assume that you know what that is. What you need to let go of. And before I move on, you might not know what that is. In this moment, you're like, Whitney, I don't know, I'm not planning for anything. But something might happen today or over the next 2 days or something, and you're just like, okay, I need to start preparing myself to make a change, to make a move, okay? What you need to let go of, we've got the Queen of Pentacles. This could be an earth sign in your life, Cancer, Capricorn, Taurus. This could also be somebody who is very independent, financially independent especially. This could be a maternal figure. Sometimes the Queen of Pentacles is considered the matriarch, but there seems to be some sort of feminine energy. Now, if this is about you personally, this could be the need to kind of feel like you have to have it all handled and let go and just lean into being a little bit more softer, being a little bit, or leaning, I hate to say that because I'm never really a person who's like, oh, just like be soft and be gentle. And I'm never going to be a girl that's 100% in her soft girl era. I told my girlfriend, I'm like, I'm girl boss by day, soft vibes by night. That is me. I'm never going to be extremely one or the other. But sometimes we have cycles, right? So if this is relating to you specifically, it may be a message for you, Aries, to kind of just turn down the girl boss just a little bit and embrace your femininity, embrace surrendering, getting in touch with your emotions, and not having to always have everything figured out right now, because that can be exhausting. And the Queen of Pentacles definitely is somebody who always has everything figured out. She's one step ahead of everyone. The next step you should consider, I'll make this bigger. We have the King of Cups. Okay, love to see this here. And this actually did fall out while I was shuffling, but I put it back and then I picked it. The King of Cups represents the water signs, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. And this is kind of why I was saying it might be time for you to focus back on your emotions. The King of Cups is someone who's very in tune with his emotions. He definitely knows how he's feeling. He knows how to support the others around him emotionally. He is very cool, calm, and collected. And I think this is where you should be trying to focus your energy, especially in the sign of this new moon in Cancer, which is all about embracing your emotions, your feelings, and leaning into that compassionate nature. I feel like Spirit is trying to tell you to take a break from the grind and just flow. I kind of feel like that's what Spirit's trying to tell you, Aries. The oracle message that we got for you is self-reflection. I don't know if I'm going to read the entire description for all the cards. I'm just going to read the summary. Be curious about your own nature. Choose to turn inwards to quietly contemplate who and what you are and want. The more you know about yourself, the more you are able to steer yourself well. Know what you believe and why, yet be open to the development of new beliefs and ways of being. The affirmation is, I am not afraid to look deeply at myself in all aspects. I hope that's helpful, Aries. Please consider watching your sun, moon, and rising, and like this video if you found it helpful. Happy new moon. Hi, Taurus. All right, so what you need to focus on during this next lunar cycle, we receive the Ace of Cups for you. The Ace of Cups is new emotions, new feelings, new beginnings of a sort, but especially new beginnings emotionally. There's a new cup to be filled, so to speak. This often is romantic, but it can be related to business, career, and family as well. It usually appears when there is something new that is coming to you that is going to have the potential to fulfill you emotionally. Does that make sense? It's the beginnings of filling your cup. Does that, So for the next 2 weeks, that's really what you need to be focusing on. What you need to let go of is the Temperance. Now, the Temperance could represent a Sagittarius in your life if that is important. It also represents patience, balance, compromise, waiting, right? Waiting for the right moment. Alchemy, a lot of times, the Temperance represents. So it seems as though to me, Taurus, you're waiting on something. And I have the Hangman here. So I feel like Spirit's trying to tell you, hey, whatever you've been waiting on, if it hasn't come now, you need to go ahead and shift your focus. That's what I'm getting out of this. And that could manifest in a couple ways. And because I have the Oracle cards here, Will and Discernment, which I'm going to get into in a bit. The Will is more about determination. Discernment is about, having discernment. Pretty straightforward. Now, this could manifest in one way where maybe you've been waiting for the right time to pursue something, right? And Spirit's kind of trying to tell you, hey, now's the time, go. And then for some of you, it may be that you've been waiting for others to move, and Spirit may be telling you, hey, you can't wait on them, you got to go your own path. So you decide what version is kind of applying to you here, but there's a strong message of you need to stop waiting. Okay. What is the next step? There's a song called The Mating Game. I don't remember who sings it, but that song is coming to my head. But in my head, I replaced mating with waiting. The waiting game. It's kind of like electronica a little bit. And not electronica. It's alternative. Alternative pop, I guess. But The Mating Game, look it up. The Mating Game came up in my head. Look up the lyrics. I don't know if that's helpful for you. The next step you should consider, the Hangman. Now, interestingly, the Hangman represents feeling stuck, feeling like you're hanging by a thread, feeling like you're waiting on others to move, feeling like you are waiting to see how chips fall to figure out your next course of action. But I don't use reversals in this deck. And so considering how we have the Temperance here, I would almost consider the Hangman to be reversed, because this is really more like, for me, you need to stop. The time for reflection has come to an end, and now it's time for you to move. You know what I mean? It's time for you now to let go, move forward. You've taken the time that you've needed to process and consider all of the things in front of you, and now you need to just stop hanging on and just now I'm hearing Free by Destiny's Child. Ain't no feeling like being free when your mind's made up and your heart's in the right place, yeah. I just woke up, y'all, so please. No, it ain't easy being let down or being forgotten about. Didn't deserve my love. I've had enough, set me free. Listen, I'm the radio, okay? Spirit gives it to me, and I just regurgitate it. All right, let's look at your oracle cards. I saw Will first. Will was on top. So let's look at that, number 13. I'm only going to read the summary. I'm not going to read the whole definition of these cards. Decisions require actions. You are in control of your own decisions in life, no one else's. Passion and will determine a great proportion of your success. You will persist. You possess free will, which means you should focus on yourself first and avoid placing your will over another's. The affirmation is, I have the will to make the changes I need. I'm really getting a sense, Taurus, that like some of you guys have been waiting for a relationship or waiting for somebody to do the work or to become what you want them to become. And I feel like you just need to focus on new love. And maybe that same energy is like applied to a job, right? You've been waiting for things to improve at work, but you just need to be looking for a new job. You know what I mean? All right, discernment. What number is this? 10. Take care in your choices now. Look carefully and judge wisely. There may have been something difficult to see, something that has been obscured, but now it has been revealed to you. Examine it closely. The affirmation is, I take my time to be accurate and precise in my discernment. Okay, I hope that was helpful, Taurus. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to watch your moon and your rising as well if you're watching for your sun sign. And give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful. Thank you so much. Happy new moon. Hi, Gemini. Okay, so what you need to focus on during this lunar cycle is the Magician. The Magician is the great manifester of the tarot. He's able to create whatever he wants. He's able to use his resources wisely and call in and or create what he desires. So there's this message here, Gemini, that you need to be focused more on co-creating with Spirit, and you need to let go of the King of Swords. Now, looking at this next to the Magician, to me, this indicates that you need to stop thinking so much and kind of just focus on just creating and believing that what you want can become your reality. I think you need to stop trying to logic your way to your desires. Not to say that it's unhelpful, but I think in this season, in this lunar cycle, it would be better for you to focus on being the energy you want to attract rather than trying to figure out mentally how to get what you want. Does that make sense? The King of Swords also represents the air signs Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, so there could quite literally be an air sign that you need to let go of. The King of Swords oftentimes is somebody who is an expert subject matter, so I think it could be someone like your boss, but it's usually someone like an accountant or a lawyer, somebody who's highly specialized and knowledgeable about something. My girlfriend, she's looking at houses right now, so maybe it's like a realtor that you need to let go of, like things like that, you know what I mean? What is the next step you should consider? Four of Cups. Four of Cups is kind of that like half glass empty / glass half full energy. You're going to have to make a choice, Gemini, that you don't really hate or love. Now, that's what's the first thing that's coming through, but it could also be that you're waiting. Like the original tarot deck has this guy sitting under a tree, arms folded. He's got 3 cups and 1 more is being offered to him, but he's not taking it. So in terms of what the next step is you should consider, perhaps it is biding your time. Perhaps you do need to wait for the right offer to come through if you are focused on manifesting this ideal reality, this ideal circumstance. Maybe it's that you don't have to take the first thing that's being offered to you. Maybe you're trying to really maybe you're waiting for something better. Let's just get a follow-up to that. Please get a jumper. Next step, Gemini should consider, please. Not getting a jumper. What is the next step, Gemini should consider? Please clarify the Four of Cups. 3 of Wands. You're very much waiting for your ships to come in. There's a little bit of a waiting. Like I just told this to Taurus, but it was in a different context because Taurus has been waiting and Taurus is now being forced to move. Whereas you are, again, going back to being the energy you want to attract, you need to kind of shift into expectancy. I kind of feel like you don't have to settle, Gemini. You don't have to settle. Just because something's being presented to you doesn't mean that you have to take it. Let it be. A lot of times when we're manifesting, a lot of times when we're manifesting, we have to be very specific. So you may be focused on, I'll use my girlfriend who's trying to get her house, right? You may be focused on the dream house. And so you're so focused on like it needs to be 6 bedrooms and how and this type of kitchen and this type of yard and this type of style, and you find the perfect house, but it's like in a completely different neighborhood that you don't want to be in. You're like, fuck. You got to get really specific. So in terms of what next step you should consider, shift into expectancy. The 3 of Wands is advancement. It's waiting on your ships coming to come in. It's about progression. It's about leveling up. It's about taking the next step. You are about to advance, but you're almost there. You're almost there. So you have to wait for the right opportunity so that when your ships come, you're ready to board. Your oracle message is self-reflection. I think Aries got this as well. Okay. Be curious about your own nature. Choose to turn inwards to quietly contemplate who and what you are and want. The more you know about yourself, the more you are able to steer yourself well. Know what you believe and why, yet be open to the development of new beliefs and ways of being. The affirmation is, I am not afraid to look deeply at myself in all aspects. I hope that was helpful, Gemini. Please watch your moon and rising sign if you're watching for your sun sign. And if you found this helpful, please consider giving this video a thumbs up. And I hope you have a great new moon. Bye, Gemini. Ooh. Cancer, my Cancer placement feels this reading. Okay, so hopefully this really resonates with you. What you need to focus on during this lunar cycle, the world. The world is about major completion, wrapping up cycles, closing chapters, major accomplishments. Okay, this usually comes up when you've invested a long time on something, a project, a degree, a party planning, like something you've been working on for a while, and it's time to wrap it up. Spirit's like, all right, girl, wrap it up. That's really the energy I'm getting from this. I don't know. Normally the world is like a little bit celebratory because it's like a major achievement, a major accomplishment. But the energy I'm getting from this is like, all right, come on now, pack your bags. We got to go. Because what you need to let go of is the devil, which is Capricorn energy. And the devil also represents attachments, willing attachments. So I oftentimes equate the devil to work. So this could be a job, like the golden handcuffs kind of thing, you know. The devil also represents addictions. So this could be you, anything that you're, or I hate to say suffering, but if you are struggling or coping, as water signs tend to do, with gambling, sex, weed, drugs, alcohol, any of those things, really consider abstaining. But I think this is a job, personally. And did I say the devil could be Capricorn? It could be a Capricorn in your life as well. The next step you should consider is the 9 of Wands, which is perseverance and pushing through. You've made it so far, you just have to keep going. Keep going in order to close this chapter, whatever this may be. But in order to close the chapter, you're going to have to let go of whatever this devil is. Is the devil your job? Is the devil a person? Is the devil an addiction? That's going to vary person to person. The oracle message that you received is trust. Trust yourself. Develop self-trust and joy will follow. You can rely on your own capabilities. Begin to plan carefully for the future. The affirmation is, it is the beginning and I trust myself in all things. It's really interesting that the affirmation is, it is the beginning and I trust myself, because the world is the last card of the major arcana. And right, and you know, the beginning is the Fool. So usually, I don't have it here, but usually when I see the Fool and the World in a reading together, it represents endings and new beginnings. Let's see for shits and giggles if it comes out. Any last words for Cancer? If the Fool comes out, I'm gonna like scream. I'm not gonna scream because I'm actually still pretty tired. The Star, which is kind of really the same thing as this. Have faith, believe, restore yourself and your energy. The Star is also Aquarius energy in case that is important. I hope this was helpful, Cancer. If it is, please consider giving this video a thumbs up. Watch for your moon and rising as well if you're watching for your sun sign. And I hope you have a wonderful new moon in Cancer. Bye, guys. All right, Leo. Then what you need to focus on during this lunar cycle is the Two of Swords. Making a decision. Two of Swords is back and forth energy, this or that energy. Now, she's got sunglasses on, but in the original tarot deck, she's blindfolded, and there's a body of water behind her, which is indicating her need to focus on her intuition, and that is what you are being called to do. You are being forced to focus on your intuition because there's a decision you've been weighing quite heavily, but you need to make a choice. You need to decide. I say this all the time when the Two of Swords comes up, that sometimes the best choice is not the most logical choice, and that's okay. Sometimes you just have to make spirit-led decisions. And those be the things that save you, you know? I don't know why I'm getting this example of like going out to a club, right? And you might just get a feeling of like, you know, I don't think I need to be at this party. You ain't even there yet. And everything should be fine. Your friends, nobody's driving. Your friends got a taxi and y'all are about to go to this party, some warehouse or something. And you're just like, everything should be fine. Like this party should be good, whatever. But you just like get a gut feeling like, I don't think I need to go. I don't know. You don't have a really good reason. But you're like, I'll see you guys. Lo and behold, those friends have a terrible time for God knows why. There's a shootout, who knows. And that's just what I mean sometimes. The best choice is not always the most logical because it should have been fine. It should have been, okay, nobody's driving. There's nobody who's going to get in an accident. We're all going to take Ubers home and stuff like that. But you were protecting yourself from a potential catastrophe. You got to make a choice, Leo. What does Leo need to make a choice about? Community. Interesting. Maybe who you hang around, maybe main female. This is about you, maybe a decision you need to make about you and who you spend your time with and who you're involved with somehow. That this could be your personal, your friendship groups. This could be your work community. This could be where you live. Okay, you got to make a decision. What you need to let go of. We've got the Devil here. Capricorn energy. This could be work. Oftentimes the Devil is kind of connected to the golden handcuffs. This could also be addictions, drugs, sex, weed, alcohol, gambling. And this can also be attachments. Sometimes the Devil can represent a relationship, especially one that's very passionate. But personally, when I see the Devil, I connect it more so towards work. I feel like I need to channel, but I don't have a lot of time. So Spirit, you got to be quick about this. What do you want to say? The time is right, is now. You can't give them your soul. Now I'm hearing Beyonce. You won't break my soul. The fruit that they're offering, Leo, is poisoned. Make no doubt about it. It looks healthy, but it's not. What do you have for Leo? And on top of that, you asked for an orange, but they gave you an apple, and they're saying, hey, yeah, apply this analogy to however it resonates. You asked for an orange. They have an orange, but instead they offered you an apple, and they said, I'll just take this instead. It's totally fine. It looks good on the outside, but completely tainted, unhealthy, decomposed. Everything that glitters isn't gold. I'm seeing like a bridge, like a very like almost like the movies, like a very rickety wooden bridge. And have you ever wondered how they make those bridges to begin with? I've always wondered that when you see like those old school type like bridges. Like how did that even who even how? I'm gonna look that up one day. So there's this rickety bridge that you have to get across, and you're like, I am going to die right now. And you're just being called to trust that you're going to make it across. You just have to be very careful with your steps, but you're going to make it across. Like you literally are on thin ice, Leo. But you will make it across. Okay, and then the next step you should consider is the Chariot. The Chariot does represent the sign of Cancer in this Cancer new moon, but it also represents moving forward, determination. What's happening here? Why is this? Sorry. It also represents determination, willpower, forward momentum. I also look at the Chariot as moving on, looking ahead, not looking back. I also equate it to quite literally moving, physical locations, and also something to do with your car. But to me, the next step you consider is like looking forward. You gotta move on from something or someone. Okay? And you've been contemplating this for a while, but it's just time. You got two oracle cards. We have release and we have focus. Okay, so I'll read release first. I don't get this card a lot. Let it go. It is time to release anything that does not serve you. Old negative habits do not engage you anymore as the payoff is not enough. You are ready to make room for bigger, brighter, more aligned things. The affirmation is, I freely release what I no longer need. And then we have focus. You must focus on the task at hand right now. There is no room for a scattergun approach. Put on the blinkers and do not listen to gossip or negative people. If you make a mistake, it is your mistake to make. Do not waste your focus. Do not split your attention into too many pieces. That's really good. If you make a mistake, it's your mistake to make. I think that's good because it's like, look, if you get caught up listening, oh, you should do this, you should do that. Spirit is kind of telling you right now, there's a time to listen to wisdom in your life. But right now, Spirit is telling you, look, you got to focus on what you're trying to do because your outcome might not be their outcome. So you can't focus on how people are trying to advise you right now. Too much, anyway. Don't split your attention into too many pieces. The affirmation is, I have a laser-like focus that serves me well. Okay? Hope that resonates, Leo. If it did, give this video a thumbs up. If you're watching for your sun sign, consider watching your moon and rising as well. Thanks so much for being here, Leo. Have a great new moon. Hi, Virgo. Okay. What you need to focus on during a lunar cycle. We've got the Emperor here. The Emperor represents quite a few things. The Emperor is fatherhood, a father figure in your life. The Emperor is someone who is in charge, someone who is in command, someone who's calling the shots. someone who's in their masculine energy, someone who is very focused on what they want to do and where they want to go. I always see this sometimes as like needing to have direction or conviction. Needing to be in control, take up space. This could also be an Aries in your life if that's important to you. To me, this is about taking control. This is about knowing what you want and going for it. But going for it because you know you'll be able to conquer it. What you need to let go of the world. This is interesting here. The world is major accomplishment. Chapters closing, cycles ending. And I'm going to have to pull a explanation of that because the world is quite positive. So I'm trying to figure out, like, is there an ending you don't need to pursue? Clarify this for, we have the Justice card here. What you need to let go. This is Libra energy. Maybe letting go of the need to be right. Maybe letting go of the need to have the last word. Maybe letting go of like needing to have something done your way. Picking your battles, maybe just deciding, you know what, I'm not going to win this and I'm just going to have to make my own lane. What next step you should consider? The Page of Wands, which is fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, but also exploration, creation, freedom, expression. I feel like you're being called, Virgo, to carve your own lane. Versus trying to fit in somebody else's. We have protection. Here is your oracle message. Your higher power, however you describe this, is a loving and protective energy. You are loved and protected. Identify your fears. You can identify your fears. You can protect yourself better. Trust in yourself. The affirmation is, I am loved and protected. Okay. Whenever I see this message, Virgo, the protection card, it usually is a message that you're going through something difficult that you're not really sure how you're going to get yourself out of, or how you're going to see a way out. But usually Spirit is protecting you. To be very honest, my experience with this card is usually that you don't know how shit's going to work out, but Spirit's got your back. You're not going to be able to see the ram in the bush. You know what I mean? I hope this is helpful, Virgo. If it is, please give this a thumbs up. Please watch your moon and rising as well if you're watching for your sun sign right now. I thank you for being here, and I hope you have a lovely new moon in Cancer. Hi, Libra. You need to focus on making a decision. This is also the same card that Leo had, needing to make a decision, trying to decide between this or that, if or when, going back and forth. And just like I told Leo, sometimes the best decision isn't the most logical choice. Sometimes you just have to make a spirit-based decision. What do you need to let go? We've got the Four of Wands here. Four of Wands is domestic harmony, community. I like to call it the cookout card. Celebration sometimes with the Four of Wands. There's something related to your home life you need to let go of. Again, judgment is here. There's a decision or a determination, maybe what to do about your home, maybe regarding what to do about a relationship that is surrounding your home. It's time to make a very important decision about it with the judgment here. You can no longer avoid or push off this decision. It's time to make a decision. So like I said, this is usually domestic affairs. So usually around your home life, your living arrangements, or around a like a family situation that needs discernment, needs judgment. The next step you should consider is the Ace of Wands. We have a new beginning here. The Ace of Wands is a spark. So it's a new passion. It's a new spark, that's fire that's been lit within you. Something that is exciting. Something that is allowing you to want to create. A lot of times the Ace of Wands can represent new flings if you're dating. And it could also represent new jobs if like there's something that a new job that you're interested in starting and learning more about. We've got the Nourishment card here as your oracle message. Choose to nourish your mind, body, and spirit. Feed your values. When you are jealous or envious, it is a sign of what you are actually hungering for. Pay attention to your health. The affirmation is, I choose to nourish myself. So Libra, there's a decision that you need to make about your home life, but whatever decision that you do make, it seems that it's leading you towards something new, towards something, I don't really want to say better, because I don't know that this Ace of Wands is necessarily better, but what it is that you need to decide if you're going to stay and kind of work on things, or if you're going to pursue something new altogether. I feel that with this Nourishment card, you're going to be taken care of either way. Okay, I hope this is helpful. Give it a thumbs up if it is. And if you're watching for your sun sign, watch your moon and rising as well. Thanks so much, Libra. Have a great new moon in Cancer. Scorpio, what you need to focus on during this lunar cycle. 7 of Wands, maintaining control. The 7 of Wands is about defensiveness, but sure, it can be defensiveness in like the traditional sense of like you're defending yourself, but this is more about, at least when I see it, it's more about protecting what's yours. So, because you see how the fire is like going up and everything's going up around him, but he's maintaining peace, he's maintaining control. That's what you need to do right now. You need to focus on keeping shit kosher, keeping shit from burning down. And usually when this card appears, you will. You need to let go of the moon. The moon often represents a Pisces, but in case you're not connected to a Pisces specifically, this could represent someone who is very intuitive, somebody maybe who leans towards fear and anxiety. But the moon represents disillusionment. It represents what you can't see and what, like, kind of having fogginess, like kind of not really sure where to focus your attention or your mind. Everything is kind of distorted. I think you need to let go of trying to gain clarity, and instead you should embrace just resting. Because if things are going to be what they're going to be, Scorpio, the 4 of Swords here, things are going to be what they're going to be. I think you're trying to discern, okay, like, how's this going to go, and what do I need to do? Where do I focus my energy? It's like, you're ever driven through really thick fog? It's really difficult. It's really, really difficult. And you're trying to do that, but Spirit's like, girl, you just need to pull the fuck over and let me handle it. Surrender is your oracle message. Okay, 26. Surrendering doesn't mean giving up. Let go of what you no longer need. Stop being so stubborn and holding on to aspects and behaviors that don't align with who you are now. Stop struggling. The affirmation is, I let go, I surrender my struggle, I allow the universe to work through me. Okay, Scorpio, you get the vibe. You just gonna have to let go and let God. Really. I hope this was helpful, Scorpio. I know it's a shorter reading than usual. Watch your moon and rising as well for a 360 reading, okay? And I hope this was helpful. If it was, please give this video a thumbs up. And I hope you have a wonderful new moon in Cancer. Bye, Scorpio. All right, Sagittarius. So what you need to focus on this lunar cycle, your home life, 4 of Wands, domestic harmony, your relationships, your family. 4 of Wands also represents stability. So this could be about you needing to focus on your stabilizing your life in some way. What you need to let go of, the Fool. The Fool represents a new beginning, a fresh start. And it may be more so that you need to acknowledge that you're no longer at the beginning stages of something. That's kind of what I'm seeing here. Which is kind of interesting because I'm jumping ahead, your oracle message is the new moon, which is beginnings. So it could even be that it's time to embrace a new beginning and let go of something that's no longer serving you. So then let's clarify, what does Sagittarius need to let go in order to embrace this new beginning? We've got the Star here. This could be Aquarius energy, having faith for something. What does Sagittarius need to let go? Page of Cups. This had been wanting to come out, but it didn't. Water sign energy, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. Maybe the need to create some sort of emotional expression here. Maybe being sensitive about something. This could also be traveling. I know that you love to travel, but we've got you see how he's ready to go here? The imagery is sometimes important in a reading. I'll never forget one time I was doing my own personal daily reading, and I was using this deck. I was using my fantasy tarot deck, and I had the unexpected, which was the Fool and something else. I think the Fool was next to like something stupid, like the Tower or something. And look, it's just this guy walking with his dog. And I was like, whatever. And I'm like, what new beginning could I possibly be embracing? But then something happened quite literally on my walk with my dog that evening that was unexpected. So sometimes it's about taking the actual imagery that's important here. So there could be a trip you're hoping to take. It feels like you need to kind of be at home for a while, Sagittarius, with what you need to focus on being the Four of Wands and the Fool. He's like ready to go. He's got his book bag. He's got his suitcases. Don't try to escape something. Don't try to escape your responsibilities at home. The next step you should consider, Queen of Cups, emotional security, emotional fulfillment, especially in yourself, having compassion for yourself and others, nurturing yourself, nurturing others. I feel like you're being called to have more compassion in your life right now. Let's look at the oracle message for the new beginnings, number 2. All right, you are offered a fresh start. Your journey is beginning. Take the fresh steps towards something new. It is time to place emphasis on your health and well-being, which is why the Queen of Cups is here, nurturing yourself. The affirmation is, I accept and rejoice in renewal and beginnings. Interesting here because the renewal is very much the Star, which is like faith, rejuvenation. So in some way, if the travel message is resonating, great, take it. But in some way, you're being called to embrace a new beginning. It's just interesting in this position of what you need to let go of. And I don't really necessarily think the message is letting go of a new beginning. It's something that you will have to let go of in order to embrace a new beginning. But this is tied to your home life, for sure. I know this is really vague. I know. How can I clarify this for you? here we are with root chakra, trigger statement to release. I am broken. Root chakra is your sense of security, your sense of, like, it would relate to your home and well-being. Trigger, a true statement to embrace. I am illuminated. As you release your attachment to the high and low, you find peace and balance. Honor the cycles of your body and energy now. There's a real emphasis on restoration for you, Sagittarius. My prayer is that this is more clear to you than it is to me. So if it is, please drop some comments below to, if this is connecting to you, you think you know what Spirit's trying to communicate through this reading. But I also encourage you to watch your moon and your rising sign as well for a 360 reading, okay? Really hope this was helpful. If it was, give this video a thumbs up, please, and thank you. Let people know that, let YouTube know that people like this content. And I hope you have a lovely new moon in Cancer, Sagittarius. Have a good one. Capricorn, you need to focus on moving forward. The Chariot here, the Chariot does represent the sign of Cancer during this Cancer new moon. The Chariot represents determination, willpower, and progression. You need to look forward, not back. The Chariot is all about looking forward, not back. You need to be pushing through. I oftentimes now equate the Chariot with physical moving, like moving your home, and sometimes also something to do with your car. So there might need to be a focus on one of those two things as well. Advancement here, though, seems to be the name of the game. What you need to let go of. 10 of Pentacles. This is interesting. What do you mean by that, Spirit? You know, the 10 of Pentacles is wealth, legacy, and abundance. And sometimes with the 10 of Pentacles in this position, in terms of what you need to let go of, it represents the need to edit your work-life balance. Like, are you putting too much energy on work and not enough on home? Which is interesting because the card for the next step you should consider is the 4 of Wands, which is domestic harmony. Kind of like I was just telling Sagittarius, there's an energy here right now, Capricorn, where you need to focus on your home life. You may need to kind of cut down your hours, focus a little bit more on your family a little bit. Maybe insert some boundaries. And please understand this is seasonal. This is not like a life thing. This is just the energy you're in right now of needing to kind of like scale it back with how much energy you're giving your home life, your work life, or giving your work life. Especially because I do feel like you have long-term vision and goals. And so you're going to have to edit how much you give your job or your career in order to recalibrate. We've got gratitude here as your oracle message. Be where you are and be thankful. There is always something to be grateful for, no matter your suffering. Gratitude raises a lower vibration to a higher one. Do not allow yourself to be surrounded by too many negative people. Life is conspiring for you. The affirmation is, I joyfully turn my attention to what I am grateful for. I hope this is helpful, Capricorn. Give this video a thumbs up if it is. Watch your moon and your rising sign as well for a 360 view for this new moon in Cancer. And I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Have a good new moon. Aquarius, we've got the Wheel of Fortune for what you need to focus on this next lunar cycle. This lunar cycle. The Wheel of Fortune is divine timing. It is good luck, good fortune, sometimes even a windfall of money. Maybe this is about you calling in that energy. You're due for a payout of some sort, whether energetically or monetarily. You're due for a win. You need to let go of the 6 of Cups, something from your past, something you've been holding on to. Most likely a relationship, a connection. This could also be a grudge, as sometimes the 6 of Cups represents apologies.
This could just also be tied to just something or someone from your past. Like, are you giving your family too much of your attention right now? Are you killing yourself to be available to them and neglecting your own family, you know? And, you know, and when I say family, I mean like your parents or your siblings, like things like that. Your immediate family, right? Or whoever that might be for you, because maybe an aunt or uncle raised you, whoever that is. The next step you should consider is the Hierophant. This is Taurus energy. This is also organizations, institutions, and also spiritual teaching. This could be about getting involved or getting connected to an organization. Let me clarify the Hierophant for Aquarius. Where are you leading them? 3 cards came out. The Star, Aquarius energy, your energy. Hope, faith, rejuvenation. 4 of Wands, domestic harmony. The Knight of Pentacles, slow and steady, but still profitable. You need to, there's energy here that you're going to have to stabilize your life through by way of an organization. And I say stabilize because the 4 of Wands deals with domestic harmony. So there's something that you need to bring grounding and balance to. The Knight of Pentacles is very hardworking. You need to have faith. We've got the Nourishment card here, which feels like confirmation to me, considering the Wheel of Fortune is here. Especially if you're struggling right now, Aquarius, things are going to work out for you this new moon. Choose to nourish your mind, body, and spirit. Feed your values. When you are jealous or envious, it is a sign of what you are actually hungering for. Pay attention to your health. The affirmation is, I choose to nourish myself. I'm kind of getting the energy of like the you know, like those cliche movies where like small town hero needs to, you know, move to the big city kind of thing. It's kind of like that. Like I feel like you're going to be like, listen, I can't stay here any longer. This environment isn't working for me anymore. There's a real emphasis on your environment for me. Of you needing to go where you can flourish and thrive. I hope that's helpful, Aquarius. Watch your sun, moon, and rising. If you're watching for your sun, watch your moon and your rising as well to get a 360 view of your reading. I hope this is helpful. Please give this video a thumbs up if it is. And I will see you on the next one. Okay, Pisces. All right, so what you need to focus on is the 10 of Pentacles. This is abundance, wealth, luxury. Maybe you're focused on building your wealth. Maybe you're focused on building your company if you work for yourself. There's not only stability, but comfort. Having more than enough is what you'll be focused on these next 2 weeks. What you need to let go of, the Strength card. This could be a Leo in your life, but this could also be a message to let go of the struggle. If you're so used to struggling, if you're so used to like having to struggle through scenarios, drop that identity is what I'm hearing. Because now you get to live here, right? You get to live here. You don't have to struggle anymore. So you can't live in this home and still have a poverty mindset. And this has nothing to do with poverty, but the Strength card here is representing that you've had to persevere through so much and you no longer need to carry that identity, okay? Next step you should consider is the 9 of Swords, which does represent fear, anxiety, stress, overwhelm, insomnia. And I just think that's confirmation of like what you need to let go of. Because obviously I wouldn't tell anybody to embrace fear and anxiety. Your oracle message is Supermoon. I feel like you've gotten this before. I feel like you're the only sign that gets this card. I don't know that I really have many other signs that get this card. It says it's the Supermoon card and it is about attraction. I never noticed the girl sitting down before in the corner. I never noticed her because the moon is just so big and she kind of blends in. All right, 44. Let's see. Okay, I think this is also the last card. Yeah, this is the last card in this deck. You can be magnetic to others and attract the good things in life. You can repel what you no longer wish to attract. Be ready for opportunity. Avoid extremes that might cause negative imbalance in your body or mind. Think of connections greater than yourself. The affirmation is, I can attract what I wish and repel what I do not. She's powerful. She's divine. She's a creatrix. I hope that's helpful, Pisces. Let me know if it is. Watch your moon and rising as well if you're watching for your sun sign. Give this video a thumbs up if you found it a little bit helpful. I know these are really shortened readings this month, but just wanted to give you guys a little something. Thanks for being here. I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Have a lovely new moon in Cancer. Bye.